Hello everybody, welcome to Nintendo Pow Block here on Boss Rush Network. I'm your host, Eliza Excited Eddie. Joining me is one, the only Bossman himself, Mr. Curry Derrick. Hello, good sir.
Hey Ed, I'm on time tonight.
Yay!
You're on time tonight. We started on time, everybody.
Yay!
First time for everything, I guess.
For right now. Yes.
Ed, I have energy sort of tonight.
Yes!
Mostly because some of us have been talking off air and not, kind of behind the scenes on some, 2025 clearly is going to be a big year for Nintendo.
Oh,
and
yes.
Boss Rush also already focuses on indies a lot, right? Like the writing team and, I know Stephanie and Pat are super into indies and you play a lot of indies and obviously, like I said, the writing team and all that play a lot of indies. And so we are trying to form our content around those two things specifically because, obviously not obviously, but obviously we're going to get a new console. We're going to have new first-party Nintendo games, indies, a lot of new indies, right? And, it's exciting. I am excited for the Nintendo side of content, and it's just I don't know what else to say yet. I'm just very excited for some of the things that we talked about, and that you, me, and Stephanie are kind of on the same page, and I know Stephanie wants to be more looped into this side of the stuff and be on the show sometimes, and people had a good reception when she hosted with me a couple weeks ago. Yes. When you were out, and I don't know how much things are, I don't want to say they're changing, but like there's going to be an extra focus, I would say, on Nintendo specifically next year, and kind of get back to like the roots of what Boss Rush started as, right? And Pow Block, and I'm really excited, and like I said, I'm not trying to use the word change because I don't think anything's changing. We're just, the emphasis on that stuff is going to be prevalent.
I like evolving. We're evolving.
I wouldn't say we're evolving. I'd say the focus is shifting.
But that's the same thing as change. Evolving, I guess evolving has a more professional sounding feel to
We're not there. There's nothing professional about this operation. Stop trying to act that way. Stop it.
It's so weird that when I try to be serious, I try to be like on a professional level that we're doing stuff, and then I get shut down. But then when I start talking the wacky stuff like hot topic or something, and then you're professional and serious, you just be like, no, this is it. I'm just like, wait a minute, hold on.
Yeah, well, I do what I can.
The dynamic balance, I should say. Yes, everybody. 2025 is definitely going to be a big year, just not only for Pow Block, but like Corey mentioned with Nintendo. Once we learn about their new console, it's going to be about who's going to be the developers, indie and third party, or even second party, like the publishers, what games are going to be coming out. We already got the information about backwards compatibility. And what is that going to mean for the system when we actually see it in action? Because it's different just saying, yes, we're getting backwards compatibility, but how's the output is going to be onto it? Give it up to Microsoft for their backwards their backwards compatibility. Couldn't get it out because they really upgrade that version of the game, so when you play it, it's running differently than you would play it on its original hardware. So will that be the same thing for Nintendo? We don't know yet, but it's going to be exciting if it is happening. Definitely Digital Foundry is going to get all into that, but it's going to be a very big year for Nintendo, for gaming in general, because um, still there's going to be a lot of big AAA games, first party stuff. But speaking of indies, like indies still play a role, and there's still a lot coming out. The PC, the PC crowd and everything, those games, they're going to be important to Nintendo. Like the Civilization series, like that's been doing good. So how's that going to reflect when the next console comes out and everything? So, you know, Microsoft and Nintendo, Sony and Nintendo, like we could be getting um some major things, and we here at Pow Block, we want to be on it. We want to be able to deliver all that news, give our opinions, give you the direct recaps, expansion passes. Like we're really going to be shooting uh driving forward really fast for Nintendo next year for Boss Rush. So just be ready. And when everything drop out, hopefully you guys will enjoy it.
Yeah, and I'm already preparing some content outside of the podcast too, which I'm pretty excited about. I have like 3 separate setups for that right now, just in case I'm somewhere where I should be recording something and I'm not. I can just like I have like an old computer over here with like recording stuff on it that's hooked up to this TV up here that has my Switch and my Wii U hooked up to it.
Yes.
Over there, I have an old laptop with like a bunch of recording stuff on it that the laptop will probably blow up before it gets done recording. But it's over there, and in case of like an emergency or something, or like I just want to sit on the couch or whatever. And then at my desk, I have stuff for like recording and streaming set up now. Finally set it up correctly. So I'm ready to go, man. I'm we're taking a break the next couple weeks. Well, next week I'm taking a break, but the week of Thanksgiving there will be a Boss Rush podcast, but there will not be. I think there's an expansion pass going up on Thursday, and book club will be that week, right? But like, we're not gonna have a Pow Block that week, but beginning in 2025, Ed, I know I know this is kind of like we kind of talked about this, but like I hate missing weeks, man. I hate missing weeks for the main shows at least. And I think in 2025 we have to plan that stuff out better a little bit. And I know like your schedule's crazy and my schedule is going to be a little bit crazy in the beginning of the year because of work changes and stuff, but like I just want to be prepared for the weeks that we, we'll have to bite the bullet and double up some weeks, and
because I really don't know what's going to happen in January, but I'm just preparing myself for at work and everything for any changes. But when we get going and stuff and getting our recording schedules and stuff, hopefully I'll be ready for it. And plus, man, like the reason I'm bringing up the next console again is because that there's going to be so many opinions and podcasts covering Nintendo's next console, and we want to be on top of it. We want to make sure that we deliver you guys not just only our opinions, but don't forget some of the stuff that we say comes true. So our predictions could actually happen, and you'll probably hear it first from us before anybody else. And if it comes true, be like, we called that back then. So
I was even throwing around the idea of like running the Boss Rush podcast as a dual host system, where we kind of already are. Like LeRon hosts it when I'm not there, right? Like that's kind of how we've been running it. But like I've been really thinking about even taking weeks off from the Boss Horse podcast specifically to cover Nintendo stuff, and letting LeRon kind of take more of the reins of that show.
Mm-hmm.
And like, because like, I mean, first of all, Nintendo's not his thing, it's our thing, right? And
Yes.
second of all, like, I really feel bad about stuff like After Dark, and he's been trying to get this Monster Hunter show off the ground for a while, and it's just not taking. And Crossroads, kind of, whatever. And like, LeRon is a great host and deserves a show.
Yes.
And I mean, he's a much better host than I am, right? I mean, I've always said, like, even when we were doing Nerds Gone Rogue stuff, like, I'm a better Robin to a Batman, right?
Yeah.
Like, in terms of hosting and co-hosting, I feel like, for example, this show, you're hosting this show. I feel like I'm better at playing off of you than actually hosting the show, right? That's how I feel most comfortable. That's where I feel like the show gets its kind of chemistry from. I just feel like that's and obviously we're friends and we just talk and whatever, like, whatever. But so that's kind of what I've been kind of tossing around in my head a little bit, because LeRon is a great host and he deserves to have a show to host, right?
Yeah. He's well organized and well prepared.
Yeah, too prepared sometimes. Have you seen his docs? I mean, you think my docs are organized? Like, a lot of my docs, dude. One of his Crossroads scripts was like 5 or 6 pages long.
Let me tell you, I used to get yelled at about not breaking stuff down and being detailed. So when I give you something that's detailed, do not say nothing. The Ron's docs be detailed. I'd be like, great, awesome.
Yeah. But in all seriousness, I think LeRon would be a great kind of host for that show moving into next year. Even if especially on days that I'm not going to be there. So, I don't know. We might. I mean, they'll test it out this week. I'm not going to be on the show this week, on Tuesday. So, we're gonna see. This is he doesn't know this yet, but it's a test run for him, to see how it works and how it goes. I mean, like a real thing. So, and getting more people involved, and I think it would be great to have more Nintendo creators out there kind of be involved with us in terms of a guest capacity. Like, Roger from Gamerheads, who was supposed to be on tonight with us, but he's feeling a little under the weather. So, look, he takes a couple months off because of his surgery, comes back 1 week. Can't handle it, Roger. Just kidding. We love you, Roger.
Yes.
But, that, and like, Nintendo Main has been a pretty good friend to us for a while. And
yeah, I got to get in touch with them.
So,
shout out to Train.
Co-op mode. I want to get Mark and Todd on here at some point. Mark's more the Nintendo guy than Todd, but
I missed Todd. I haven't spoken to him in a while.
He's on Blue Sky now.
Sky, yeah. I'm gonna follow him.
Yeah. Speaking of them, shout out to Secret Friends. Secret Friends Unite's about to hit their 500th episode this week. So congratulations to Todd and Charlie. And Mark's been a huge part of their growth too on the other stuff. So I don't know. I always look at them and be like, man, they figured it out. And like, I always feel like I'm still trying to figure it out all the time. And they figured it out, man. They know what they're doing, and I'm proud of them, and they're just good people. So, but yeah. Anyways, Pow Block's on Blue Sky. We're going to be pushing the social media stuff more than just episode updates when episodes are coming out. So, out Pow Block podcast everywhere. I guess you can follow us, and Man, Blue Sky, that took off quickly, didn't it?
Yeah, I'm getting like followers from like indie developers and some other people. I'm like, I don't know. Oh, you making this game? I guess I'll follow you since you following me. They see the Nintendo stuff and I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
So um
Yeah. I mean, I like the starter pack kind of, what do you call it? The feature
yeah.
where you can just make a list of like up to 150 people in a starter pack, and you can just go through and look and follow people and all that stuff. So that's a cool feature.
But yeah, everybody, that's our kind of like little, or I should say 15-minute discussion of
Yeah, I'm just really
what we have
excited, man.
planned.
Can't help it.
Yeah,
I'm
I am too.
excited.
Look, everybody, Corey did something with expansion pass. The moment I seen it, and you guys will see it too when it get released, I was just like, I need to order this now. So you definitely will be seeing some merch once you see it, and I'm super excited.
Yeah,
Super excited.
I'm hoping I can get that stuff up soon.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyways, continue.
Yeah. But yeah, everybody, like Corey said, we're not gonna be here on the 27th because that is Thanksgiving weekend. Thanksgiving week. So we are taking a break. But when we come back, we're gonna be getting some episodes out. And still doing some expansion passes, and hopefully you will enjoy that. I know I'm going to be reaching out to once again Josh Martinez for an expansion pass. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the ones that came out with me, him just talking, having a good discussion.
They'll be
It's
out
always fun.
this week for patrons. So
Bitches. Yeah. So yeah, that is the kind of the plan. And then we begin into December. You guys will hear how that month will go, and everything. But yeah, that's gonna kind of be it for Pow Block until we hit 2025, which is that is going to be it's we know what's happening in January. We're like almost half of the year. We kind of have an idea what's happening. Definitely just with games, like with Donkey Kong, is it Donkey Kong Country Returns? I think.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of commercials for that recently.
Mm-hmm.
It's so funny because like Switch, I've never. We don't. I mean, we watch TV, but like when my kids are just watching like their kid shows and stuff.
Yeah.
I've never seen so many gaming commercials as I do Nintendo commercials. Like, and this isn't just a new thing, right? This is like
right.
This is like the last since I guess since my daughter started like really paying attention to TV, right? Like it just there are Nintendo commercials everywhere. I saw a commercial for Mario and Luigi Brothership today alone, right? We were letting them watch stuff because I had work to get done and my wife had some work to get done, and it was it's Saturday, right? I mean, they do stuff all during the week, and Riley just got home from swimming lessons, and I saw a commercial for Donkey Kong, Mario and Luigi Brothership. Then they had the Mario and Friends commercial, which is Mario Wonder, Mario Odyssey, Mario Party, and Mario Kart are the 4 Mario games they're advertising.
Mm-hmm.
Which is hilarious that they're still advertising Mario Odyssey. That game is 8 years old at this point.
But you know what? We had this kind of chat, and I got to I'm writing this Banter tomorrow, about Nintendo being so good at marketing games that already came out. So people who are getting a new system or who forgot that game came out and don't have it, Nintendo like brings it back to like remind you, hey, we got this game out. If you haven't picked it up, hey, you might want to check it out. Here's the reviews or whatever, where they already do reviews and stuff. Like Echoes of Wisdom. Even though that's been out, they still are marketing that game on social media. Like Nintendo of America put out,
I saw a commercial for it today too.
Yeah, like they ran with the bed thing, and they were just like, she's eepy, and they just show her different things at the bed, and it's just like, this is what I love about Nintendo. They did it with Yoshi's Crafted World, or was it Crafted World? I think it was Crafted World, where the game had already been out for a long time, but they brought it back and they just showed us the crafted song Yoshi, and it was just like, man, they still think about that game. So when you think about it, you be like, I need to go check this game out, and then it's available for people to get. Like, it's so good that Nintendo does that. And I think that's why when we talk about marketing for Sony and Microsoft, is that there's a feel of abandonment when after a game comes out, even though they're still marketing the game, you don't see it, or it's not memorable, like Nintendo's is. And I always just like, Microsoft could really get better, and Sony could get better at this if they just definitely continue to market these games, even if it's been 3 or 4 months since that game came out. Bring it into whatever the conversation would be, and everything, so that people could be like, oh, that game that was on Xbox, that game was on PlayStation. Let me go pick it up. Like, that's why I said, like, with Astrobot and PlayStation 5 Pro, they should have definitely headstrong with that, with the marketing with that. That should have been almost everywhere. So people could just be like, yeah, when I get my PS5 Pro, all these great reviews for Astrobot, yeah, let me pick that up too. To get people an idea. That's why I feel like Nintendo's so good at it. With their games. Heck, shoot, they used to do stuff with Fire Emblem. That game been out since 2019 and stuff. I mean, like, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's there's so much, man. There's just it's funny because, like, in preparation for some of the stuff that I want to do, especially being off, for 2 weeks over Christmas and New Year's, and kind of coming back with, kind of like a retrospective of the Switch kind of going into 2025, right? I think that's kind of what we have done in the past, of like, I just downloaded all of the games that came out in 2020 or in 2017 when the Switch came out. And it's just like, my memory card is almost full of just 2017 games. Aside from the games that I'm playing like right now, like, I probably downloaded, like, because I bought them all digitally, like probably like 30 or 35 games today.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh my gosh, that's so crazy.
For a system,
just nuts, man.
For a system that some people was really skeptical about, and really just thought that it was going to be a failure, and they got that game. Like, even if you go back and look at some of the opinions about it that was on our show before the Switch came out, look over time what that system has done, and look how the power of having the usage of a handheld device, hybrid, how that just even changed everything. And Nintendo's had not hybrids, but they had handhelds out, but it's just never been at this level where people could play on the TV, but also take it to go. Just like, how did you have a strong 2017 and every year it's just been stronger and stronger and stronger? It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. And so, it's I don't know, man. There's just a lot. There's so much to talk about in a retrospective that we could probably, I mean, we could talk the next 2 hours and not even get to the show with everything in a base level. So
isn't that our normal shows? The first there's been
yeah.
times everybody that we have just thrown a whole doc out, didn't even know we had a topic, and then just talk.
I
They
mean,
get our retro hell divers.
I mean, there are episodes out there where we had no clue what we were going to talk about because there was no news, and those ended up being our longest episodes.
Right.
So
Has so much to say, didn't realize we like the heck did we talk about?
man,
And so
good times.
very good size.
Good times.
Well, Corey, let's get into this housekeeping because we got a great show for you guys. If you want to support Nintendo Pow Block and our other podcasts, you can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. Subscribing to tiers on our Patreon can grant you perks like the new exclusive pre and post shows, voting rights for Spoilercast and Video Game Book Club, exclusive question threads for Spotlight Podcast, early access, and more. As always, though, your viewership and listenership is enough for us. Subscribe to the Boss Rush Network on YouTube and like this video. If you listen on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, or even if you don't, leave us a rating and a nice review on those platforms. You can find all of our banters, features, listicles, reviews, and more on our website, bossrush.net.
Mm-hmm. Man, I'm like, I can't stop thinking about the stuff, the possibilities of just Pow Block next year, like and the content and the people and like it, because like not to this is gonna sound bad, but I promise it's not. Like, I feel like we spent so much time building up the Boss Rush brand this year, right? Like the brand as a whole, the podcast, Boss Rush Network, Boss Rush Media, going to PAX and these different events, right? Like,
yes,
I feel like we've been building that up so much that like Pow Block kind of got shoved to the side a little bit, and that's not. I like I said, I don't want it to sound bad because I don't think it is, but like, Boss Rush is in a great place as a whole, and it's time to like get. It's time to bring back what started it all, and like I'm just excited, man. Like
yes,
I've been so down for a while, like kind of conflicted on what to do with content and podcasts, and are we doing too much? Are we not doing enough? Are we not doing enough of one thing and too much of another? And this past week, I've just kind of like really sat down and thought about everything. And I have some ideas written down that you and I will talk about, Stephanie and I will talk about, and David and I will talk about. And I know what I want to focus on, right? I've made the decision to really focus on certain things next year because I really dropped the ball this year in terms of focus. I think PAX East really, like, I had a focus, and then when we were at PAX East, I really realized what the team needs Boss Rush to be, right? In terms of focus and energy, where the energy needs to go. And that kind of like made me want to change my focus, but I didn't know how to, like, I don't know. I've been using the phrase rebuilding the engine while the plane's in the air. I've been using that phrase a lot lately, but like,
yeah,
I always feel like that's what I'm doing. Just because like I do so much on the back end side of things that like it's hard for me to just turn myself off after, like, when most of the time, right? Everybody kind of like, when we hit the stop button on the recording, everybody kind of like talks for a little bit, and then they, we go separate ways, do their things, whatever. And like, again, I'm not trying to, this isn't coming out as blame or anything, but like, I can't do that right away, right? Like, I have to get the files and edit the show and make sure it gets posted on social media and blah, 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 right?
Yeah.
And the last week or so, Like, we haven't had as many interviews go up because we had to reschedule one, and we are still trying to schedule 2 other ones. So like, there hasn't been that content flow. So really, it's just been, and we moved Tower Casuals to every other week because Destiny content isn't flowing in, and we moved Xbox Casuals to fill the other Thursday slot. So like, instead of recording 4 or 5 nights a week, or like editing 4 or 5 shows a week, like I've only been editing 2 or 3 and recording 3 nights a week. And I really actually had time to sit down and just look at everything and say, okay. And this is my proclamation for next year, Ed. It's actually beginning now, but we're so close to the end of the year that it's like, whatever. We'll
move it to
say
January.
It's for 2025.
Yeah.
There are 3 things I'm going to focus on. Okay. Nintendo primary, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that includes Nintendo games. That includes the indies that come there. That includes covering the platform and being really integrated and, intimate with the platform, right?
Yes.
I'm not saying I'm just gonna, have babies with my Switch or anything. I'm saying, like, I want to know Nintendo inside and out, like we used to, like I used to, and instead of like, right. And that also includes indies, right? Like, there's a lot of indies. I think, indies are just kind of part of the Nintendo ecosystem now, a huge part. Destiny, obviously. I mean, Destiny. And tertiary is going to be Game Pass, right? I'll play the games I'm interested in on Game Pass, right? So Indiana Jones, Perfect Dark when it comes out, Fable, Gears, that kind of stuff, right? Like, I'll play that stuff.
Yeah.
And like a select few other things, like an Assassin's Creed is a game that I really want to play, right? So there'll be a select few games outside of the Nintendo ecosystem, but like, I really just want to become a platform that people come to for Nintendo and indies. Seriously come to for Nintendo and indies. So I know I've kind of been rambling about all this, and like, I just have to get it out and say, I think I may have come to a place where I am satisfied with a decision that I've made for my focus, and therefore where we can spend the energy on boss rush stuff.
Yes.
So, but I will be done talking now, because I'm sure people love hearing this stuff.
Well, there is, constant update stuff and everything at this time, but giving people a heads up to say that, yeah, we are excited for 2025, and Nintendo's really gonna bring it. Like, I think it's gonna be interesting in there, right? We're gonna get to Snacktendo, trust me. I think what's gonna be interesting is that, depending on how Nintendo is going in a few months, if we get back to PAX East in 2025, I'm hoping to go back this year, hoping the whole team or the team could go back this year. It's going to be definitely talking to a lot of those indie developers again, and just even maybe some AAA developers to be like, hey, we talked to you guys last year. Now we're talking to you guys this year. How do you guys feel about the new console? Because we talked to Daniel Posner at PAX East and about Robots at Midnight. And just hearing him talking about the game and it coming up to Steam and Xbox, I'm very intrigued now to be like, man, with their next console, with things being hinted at, is there is that going to be an idea for the future to get your game on it and everything? And maybe it is in the back of the mind, he can't say nothing or anything, But like I'm super excited, like with this new console and with these indie developers and publishers. Um, are they thinking about Nintendo's next console? And I think they are.
I mean,
And
we heard it at PAX East. We heard that developers were preparing to show games on Nintendo's next system, and Nintendo has pushed it, right? Like there are developers eagerly waiting for that thing. So
yeah,
because you want to be on a new console at launch, right? Because
yeah,
you see games succeed that maybe didn't the first, that wouldn't 2 or 3 years afterwards, right?
right.
I mean, you even see Ubisoft struggling with that, right? With Mario and Rabbids, like look how well the first one did right out of the gate, and even had that long tail. And then they released that second one, and it it sold, but it didn't like blow the lid off of anything like the first one did. So
right.
Which I totally expect some sort of definitive edition on the next console. I'm going to be honest with you.
I think so.
Especially if the next Mario game isn't ready at launch and it's going to be the holiday game. You want to have a Mario game there, so why not put that one out? Like a definitive with all the DLC and maybe some new levels.
I think we're still waiting to see what is going to be that game, that
the launch game.
I mean, because I called it the It game because, like, if you look at PS4, you would think that it was
Killzone,
but
it was Resogun,
right?
But it's the same thing as like Nintendo wanted 1-2 Switch to be a thing, and the best multiplayer game that launched with it was Snipper Clips,
right?
Like that's the exciting part. Sorry,
right,
I know that's what you're getting at, but
but Breath of the Wild was that It game, but then Mario Kart became that It game, and then just month after month for the Switch, it was just like, what is the It game? We definitely know that it was Breath of the Wild, but there was so much coming out for that system to be like, the sell it. Then Mario Kart 8 became the It game because look at the numbers. The numbers don't lie. And
also like
how many
Splatoon 2, right?
Yeah,
like Splatoon 2 was coming, and ARMS was like, ARMS had like a surge a little bit because of like character designs made people very excited, we'll say.
Look, Xbox One for me, that It game became Ori and the Blind Forest, and then when I found out Rise of the Tomb Raider was exclusive, I'm like, oh, I have to have an Xbox once that game dropped.
Yeah,
that
game's amazing.
Yes, and even though we don't have a It game for Series X just yet, Hellblade was supposed to be that It game for the system, because I think that was the first game they like really showed off the system what it could possibly do. Hellblade 2, everybody, I should say. And so even though Series X is still trying to find that particular game, I could literally say that's going to be the thing that we're going to be looking for next when their next console come out. It's just like, what is that It game? But everybody, we're gonna hop into Snacktendo.
Man, Ed's trying to get the show pushed along.
Well, because like you said, we could spend 2 hours on
this. I know, but I don't care. I want to do the show that we want to do, right? And people are just gonna have to suck it up and listen, or not, whatever,
So I actually tried the Domino's New York style pizza. I couldn't tell the difference. I'm like,
there's no difference. It's flatter. And they cut it into bigger slices.
Yeah, well, it wasn't even the bigger slices because it was a medium. Shoot, they gave me a slice that was this small and everything else was right. I'm like, this is not right, but I guess so. That's pretty much it. And I am going to experiment more, everybody, this week. I'm going to be going. Yeah, I mean, I had some Jersey Mike's that was really good. But yeah, like I think tomorrow, the day after this recording, I'm gonna try to go out to some places and get something to eat, try some new spots. To talk about it when we come back for the show. I will say, everybody, our mozzarella sticks is still bomb big. I don't care what anybody say.
Dude, I haven't had
Oh,
those in so long.
so cheesy and so good with the mozzarella sauce.
No,
Yeah.
I'm jealous. Man, yeah.
Question: how was the grilled chicken that you made last week?
Oh, it was okay. It was. I used that barbecue rub, which was it was good. It was just
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I shouldn't have used the applewood first because it has just ruined everything else for me.
So the applewood is still a winner.
The applewood's the best one by far. By
Okay.
far. No question. But yeah, it was good. It kind of threw me off because everything I've cooked up until that point had some sort of spice to it, some sort of kick to it.
Yeah.
Even the applewood, right? It had like this weird kick to it. And this was just kind of like, it kind of tasted like a barbecue potato chip, but instead of chips, it was chicken. Like that's exactly what it tasted like, and that's not
Oh
what
wow.
it was. Not what I was expecting it to taste like for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't really know what I was expecting it to taste like dry barbecue sauce, I guess, but it definitely it was good. It was good. It was good. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
I will be trying the Cajun stuff tomorrow, though, Ed. So,
Ooh, I'm excited. I know you'll probably cook it and send me the picture of the nice grill. I'm like, oh yes, but you have to cut it to one and just taste it. And just text me like, yeah. Stop.
I'll put a short on YouTube about my. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I did finish my adult beverage of my watermelon punch. I would say, I won't say the brand, just gonna say that. And I had some Twinkies, some banana Twinkies. So they're the Twinkies with a banana flavor for it. I got it at the grocery store that I normally go visit. So I got it there. Because I think it was their first time selling it. They normally don't sell it at that store around this time. So it tastes like a banana cream pie. If anyone who like that kind of flavor and stuff, it's not bad. It's really good. It's a really good Hostess cake. So yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm definitely going. I forgot. I also got some sushi last Saturday. I don't know if I talked about it, but I probably did. But I was gonna get some today, but like I said, I didn't feel like going anywhere. I just feel like staying at home on this recording day and just playing video games and everything.
I would love to just stay home and play video games.
Yeah, well, everybody, I gotta get ready because after this week, it's a 6-day work week. We actually got our holiday schedule for my job. What holidays we're gonna be working and stuff. So we're everybody got to work Christmas Eve because we're closed Thanksgiving. I am working all of Christmas Day, but I got New Year's Day off. So I'll be closing New Year's Eve because mostly everybody don't want to close. So and it's just a weekday. I won't get on to like 11:30 or 11 something. But New Year's Day I'm gonna have off for it. So I'm my tradition of having New Year's Day off is going to be a good one. And then I think for lunch, I'm gonna go to one of my favorite places. That's by my house. I normally for New Year's Day, I start the year off getting a cheeseburger meal from this place. So I'm gonna go there, pick one up, the cheeseburger meal, and then eat it at home and stuff. Yeah.
Nice.
So, and not have to deal with any nonsense. So, good luck to them.
Sure. We getting that phone call.
Oh no, my phone's gonna be yeah. I'm denying any phone calls. Well, I can't deactivate it because I gotta make, if you text me, I gotta make sure that I respond and everything. So. But everybody, because I'll probably end up texting you.
I don't know what's going on.
But everybody, it's time for Play with Power. And Cray, we kind of got a good list between us two, a good mixture.
Yeah, I mean, you probably have more to talk about than I do. I mean, like I said, I've been working on all this. I've even gotten a jump start on the Bossies stuff, Ed, because I am not doing what I did last year and wait. You know, I mean, obviously last year was our first Bossies and whatever, but like, man, I am not waiting till the last minute this time. You know, that took way longer than I expected it to take, and so I have started already. And Stephanie began a doc, and I am just ready to like maybe take my time with it this year instead of rushing it. So we will see. But
yeah, I'm excited to see what games we're gonna be talking about and nominated.
You know what else I'm excited for though, Ed? Is we're gonna have guest presenters this year.
Yes.
So like Roger from Gamerheads is hopefully gonna do. You know, these are just ideas, and you know, Mark and Todd from Secret Friends, and you know, Matt and Jeff from Fun and Games podcast, and maybe Dan O'Mac and a few others. Like I want to get some people involved and really, you know, see if we can make this thing bigger than it was last year, which last year it did pretty well for us. So
yeah, I almost cried at the end because of your thanks. So I'm just like emotions.
I mean, we only had one. The first time is always the time you have to do something special, because then it's just, you know, we do it.
The awards,
you know. So, but yeah, I'm happy. I'm gonna see if there's certain people I would like to be involved that I like people, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna see if some people will do it for us. So, anyways, it's a little
look, way forward, come
bigger than way. I mean, yeah, way forward would be awesome, but you know, bigger than way forward. Anyways,
just shout out to them.
Yeah.
Well, everybody. So, I'm close to finishing up Dragon Age: The Veilguard. I'm sorry, I dropped Metaphor with Fantasio.
But why, Ed?
I'm just not feeling that game. If
it's not for everybody,
I would have to give it. So using our ranking, 1 to 5 stars, I probably would have to give it a 2.5.
Yikes! Why? Is it unplayable?
It's playable. I think I think there's so much that the game doesn't allow you to do, and you get penalized if you're trying. Like, you get penalized for some things when they put you on a day limit kind of cycle.
Well, yeah, that's the point of the game, though. But the calendar is the point of the game, though.
True, it is, but when they don't give you a chance to get stronger, in a lot of places, like you can't really grind and stuff, and you're playing it on difficulty, the difficulty ramps up oddly. And like, well, they're talking about there's so much hand holding and talking and stopping you in brothership. I'm like, shoot, have you not played the Atlas game? I mean, there's so much talking. There's so much cutscenes, and you really
It's a
can't do.
story-driven RPG.
It is a story-driven RPG, but I need the RPG part and not the story. Let me get stronger so I can continue the story and not get my tail beat. And when you take that part away from the game, what is it then? If I can't role play, then what is it? And don't get me wrong, a lot of people are making it game of the year. I'm not trying to knock Atlas for it, but I'm like, you're not giving me the chance to get stronger. You're forcing me to go on a linear path, and I can't do nothing about it because I'm limited to your calendar. And if I don't finish a dungeon or anything in a certain time limit, I get a game over. Why am I getting punished because of your time limit that I can't grind in?
That's the Atlas game, though.
True, but I'm like, you should be able to give some leeway to let the player get stronger, and the game doesn't allow you that. So, good music, voice acting is great, cutscenes look nice, all that production stuff, yeah, but I still would give it a 2.5, 2.5 stars. I think it's just, I'm not saying that it's just not for me, but I think Atlas should have made this game a bit fair, and it doesn't feel like they did and everything. Now, Dragon Age Velgar, on the other hand, loving it. I one of this gives me hope for the next their next game. Mass Effect. I don't know where Starfield was coming to my mind for. Mass Effect, because them turning it into like an action RPG was the best decision. Not a lot of enemies, but once you kind of learn the patterns and stuff, you kind of be like, okay, this is kind of, where I need to do this, where I need to do that. It's easier getting strong. You don't have to really worry too much about customizing your armor and your weapons like Inquisition was. This is very easy to, upgrade your weapons and your special abilities for it. And yes, you do fight dragons in this game. And I will say I got a trophy for fighting certain for something that's related to the dragons, and I was just like, oh, okay, cool, awesome. But the stories are really good for all the characters. I did romance somebody. I won't say who, but I did romance somebody, and right now I'm just doing kind of like side quest stuff before I get closer to the end of the game. I'm literally like at 44 hours in this game, and I've been playing it ever since I brought it. So, and I am going to get into Brothership, everybody, but I took it out because I picked up Dragon Quest 3 and Lego Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm going to start with Lego Horizon Zero Dawn. This game is funny.
It's good. Lego Horizon Adventures.
Lego Horizon Adventures. I'm sorry, everybody.
I'm saving you from the comments. Ben. Saving you from the comments. They will fight you.
Thank you, Corey.
You're welcome.
It's good. It runs smooth at 30 frames per second. I'm not having no problems or anything.
Are you playing on Switch?
Yes, I'm playing it on Switch. It looks really. It's funny. The writing is really good. I'm assuming they got the voice actors from the game. Because Aloy, I think her voice actor is in it.
Yeah, most of them are the same. I know there was a little bit of a controversy, of them recasting Lance Reddick He plays Silence, which is he's kind of like a side. I would say anti-hero. I don't want to say he's a villain, but
yes,
he's definitely up to something. And people were kind of upset about that, but also like, what do you want them to do? Like, yeah, they could use.
right.
I guess they could. I mean, they could use Horizon source files, right? But like, you don't want them to use AI to imitate his voice. He, unfortunately passed away, so you can't make him voice act. So like, what do you want them to do? I understand, rough spot. They're gonna have to figure out what to do with the third game, right? But like, I don't know. But yeah, I think overall most of the cast is back in some way or form. I'm really excited for this game. I haven't purchased it yet. There's too many games in November, man. I mean, you got Mario and Luigi, you got Lego Horizon, you got Dragon Quest 3, you got Marvel vs. Capcom Physical comes out next week.
Yeah.
There's something there's something every week, man. There's so much.
Yeah, it's not until I think Indiana Jones.
It's the first week of December.
Next month. Yeah, I think that's the last big game, but I think something else is dropping. I gotta see.
What? Yeah, something else is coming. What else is coming out?
I have to look through.
Hold on, I'm looking it up. Upcoming video games. By the way, shout out to GameSpot for really picking up the upcoming games thing that Game Informer used to be so good at. Man, I miss Game Informer so much.
Yeah.
I have that page bookmarked still on my toolbar, and it just doesn't go anywhere anymore. Oh, I feel so bad. I'm sorry, everybody from Game Informer. I did follow them all on Blue Sky though. Brian Shea put out a former Game Informer employees starter pack.
Oh.
And I just went and followed them all because that's cool.
Yeah, I think I'm frying Brian Shea too, because I know he got a Patreon podcast.
Yeah, he's got all things Nintendo podcast. Potential guest for 2025. Everybody, write it down. Sorry, I'm trying to look this up.
But for Lego Horizon, like I said, it's really funny. There's one part where Alo's just like, "Oh, I can't believe." Sorry. "Oh, I can't believe we're fighting the cultists." Also,
Fantasian is the other game that's coming out in
Fantasian.
December. By the way, side tangent: if you do not have that game pre-ordered, pre-order it. There are rumors going around that it is going to be extremely short printed, especially for Switch, because only Amazon is taking pre-orders right now, and there's just a lot of scuttlebutt saying that game is going to be hard to find if you do not pre-order it. So
who's publishing it?
Square Enix, but the Switch version specifically, I heard, is going to be really hard to get after the holidays. So if you're interested in that game at all, having a physical copy, I would pre-order it because it's but yeah, that's the other big Switch game coming. Animal Crossing Pocket Can't Complete for phones is coming out. That $10 kind of offline version is coming. Marvel Rivals is the week before Indiana Jones. Legacy of Kain is also coming that week. Power Rangers, man, December. Jeez, Alien Rogue Incursion, the VR game.
Yeah,
that David is super excited for. Man, there's so much, man. I don't even know what's wonder if there's even a 2025 list yet. That's something they got to do. Game Informer had the 2025 link in November. All right, guys, come on. GameSpot, if you're going to start picking up this slack, get that 2025 list up there. Sorry.
Oh, wow. Okay, so yeah, because you could get the game from Square Enix store or from Amazon. I'm probably going to end up pre-ordering it from Square Enix themselves.
I just got it from Amazon because
Amazon.
don't care.
But yeah, I won't order it to Thursday. Once I get paid, I'll order it. Because like everybody could get it digitally anywhere.
Yeah.
But the pre-order, they were just like search retail stores and then only Square. I don't know why Square is considered this as a retail store. I'm like, y'all a company, but see shit on, and then Amazon. But yeah, like Best Buy, Target, none of them are getting it.
Man, even January, man. You got Donkey Kong Country Returns, Star Wars Jedi Power Battles, which I loved on the Dreamcast. Tales of Grace's F remastered. Man, February you got Assassin's Creed, you got Kingdom Come Deliverance, Avowed, Trails Through Daybreak 2, Monster Hunter Wilds. Man, February's
Is Wilds actually in? I thought Wilds was in March. Oh no, it's
February 28th. And then March you have Suikoden 1 and 2. That Tales from the Shire game people are excited for. Man, next year is already, and then Xenoblade is coming.
Tales of Grace's F is supposed to be. Oh, I gotta find a release date for that one. That's
January 17th.
Tales of Grace's F.
It's the day after Donkey Kong, so it's a Friday.
Okay, then I will order. I'll have those two ordered to get. Oh yeah, that's gonna be a lot. Monster Hunter's WoW is going to sell gangbusters. I swear if that game don't become a nomination for Game of the Year, I would be super shocked. Yeah, but yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles X definitely in March. You'd be like, yeah, I need my copy now just to make sure. Do not mess around with my with that game. Oh, but yeah, Dragon Quest 3. I only played about an hour and a half of it. Only reason why I say that everybody is because the older games you have to grind because like you could get your party could get half of themselves destroyed in the first two battles. So I'm just like, let me get strong and everything. And the experience points they give you is so little, but you have so much that you got to try to get. Like you'll start off and be like, okay, you got 10 experience points. Well, your first fight might only give you 3 depending on who you fight, but the next one might give you 7 and everything. So it's going to take a while to get stronger in that game. So if you got a lot of podcasts, if you got music that you haven't heard yet, albums you haven't heard, whether it's on Spotify, listen to Nintendo Pow Block if you missed a lot of our episodes while you're playing this game. By the time you get to the episode, get in with this episodes, you might go up 2.5 levels. So, and I'm talking about our 2-hour episodes, our 2-hour plus episodes, everybody. So yeah, but it's beautiful game. I'm loving the sprite work. It looks really, really good, and that. I think the music is not recorded. I think it's just files that they have and stuff, because the way that it sounds just sounds like past games for the music. But it's so good. Just in its execution, I'm like, oh, yeah, this is pure goodness right there. I love the Dragon Quest games, and I love when they use a symphony for their soundtracks. So yeah, Lego Horizon is is funny. I'm going to be getting more into it, and I am going to be turning to Mario and Luigi Brothership. I'm going to get it back into that because that game is fun and it's funny. So
yeah,
that's pretty much all that I'm playing. I did get Death Stranding, Corey, for Series X since it was only $20.
Yeah,
so,
I was thinking about that. I was really thinking about that, but there's so much to play right now that I don't need another game to sit there, right? I don't know. I'll get it eventually. I just not. There's too much to play, and I haven't played it yet, so I'm not going to add another game to the pile already.
I do need to pull up a list of all the releases of 2024 and just see the stuff that I play versus the stuff that I beaten. Because I know I got a lot of the Nintendo stuff, but like I'm missing Princess Peach and I got to go get that. I already know everybody.
I need to get MEO before that's hard to find.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the one that I'm afraid is going to be really hard to find at some point.
Hard to find. Yeah. I'm like I said, I'm caught up with my Xbox stuff. Besides Flight Simulator, and I still haven't gotten that Forza Motorsport. But I'm like, I had just realized that a lot of stores didn't get any physical copies of that game. Target might still have some, but if Target doesn't have it, I may be going to see Jesse again in the near future to be like, sir, hi, we need to go to Best Buy.
Yeah.
Hey, that's how I found Unicorn Overlord for Switch physical. It was at that Best Buy, and I snatched that mug quickly.
I need to get that physical too. I have a whole list of things, like to the point where like I'm looking at. Yeah, anyway, I don't need to go over that again. We just did it an hour ago, so just move along. Move along.
Yeah. But what about you, Corey?
I've been playing a little bit more of Mario and Luigi Brothership. Not much more than I already had last week. I just, trying to power through it. It's fun. It feels like I'm playing Paper Mario again, to be honest. So I don't know. I feel like this is a game I should put down and play something else and then come back to it later. But it's almost the end of the year, and I should probably play it for all the reasons, so I'm going to power through it. I do like it more than I liked Paper Mario, to be honest. I just, I feel like I just played this game though, because we just played Paper Mario for book club
a
couple months ago, and I didn't realize how similar they were. I mean, I knew they were similar, but I just didn't realize how similar they were.
Okay.
But I've been playing that, and then obviously Disney Dreamlight Valley is still going. There's a new update coming next week.
Have you made any progress in the story yet?
Nope. 0. 0.
You need to do one mission at least.
I know, man. I know. I'm trying, okay? Just leave me alone. Let me run my farm and sell crops to Goofy and make my money and buy stuff from Scrooge and leave me alone.
And then redo your whole town.
I need to. I know. I've seriously, I'm like, oh my gosh, what was I thinking when I did this? But that's gonna require like a whole day's worth of work, and I don't have time right now for that.
That's your plane ride.
No, because I did that all the way to PAX West.
I tried to do Castlevania and I felt I was trying to do Castlevania. Dude, I don't know what the heck happened. All I know is I fell asleep on the plane. I had to cut my switch off, be like, I'm going to sleep.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to sleep on the plane because as you know, Ed, I'm a great sleeper. So
well, we did get some good sleep at PAX.
Who got good sleep?
Me and you did.
Who?
Everybody did. Corey, you was not. Don't act like you was not knocked out.
Remains.
I was knocked out.
I know. Several times people came in to say goodnight, and you were sitting there watching your laptop, sleeping on your bed, and you were toast. You were done.
When I tell you that I fell into darkness, I was into darkness.
Yeah, it was something. It was pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie to you.
So,
but I am gonna try to sleep on the way because I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't because it's also gonna be almost 9 o'clock when I get there, and I don't want to.
At night or at night.
So I'll figure it out. It'll be fine. It will all be fine.
Okay.
If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dierig, Francisco Santillan, Matthew Keel, and Todd Oxtra. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network.
Well, everybody, Corey, how about we get into Family News?
Yeah, I guess we should probably do that, huh?
Yes.
All right. So, Family News. There's definitely a barrel scraping for news this weekend. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I'm so sad for one story.
I know. We'll get there. We'll get there. I know. Because me and Jesse Jesse specifically used to talk about the one game all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But our story is the Saudi public fund continues to decrease their stake in Nintendo, and it's down from 8.1% to 6.2%, so almost 2%, which is good for multiple reasons, but mostly the Saudi public fund is run by the Saudi government, and they are not savory people, we'll say. The government, not the people. The government. The people involved in the government, I should say. I have nothing against the people that live there. Probably not their fault that they live there. But if you support any company that has investments from them, you're supporting their government and tangentially. And look, it's really hard to live a morally positive, like 100% morally positive life, right? Like, I mean, look, our phones come from China and Taiwan and parts of India, and all these other places where they don't pay pay people at all sometimes. And this is just another one of those situations where women have no rights, gay people have no rights, trans people have no rights, like to the point where if they catch you, they kill you in the street, straight up. And it's just not a great place. But the fact that they are kind of divesting from Nintendo is good. They already own the entirety of SNK now. Yeah. Wow. And they, they're kind of like Tencent, where they have a little bit of money everywhere. Not as prevalent as Tencent, but they do definitely have a little bit of money everywhere. So just keep that in mind, I guess, when you're looking at games and how savory the people are investing in the companies you buy from, which is another reason why you should probably support indie developers. But I will continue to buy Nintendo games because, and like I said, the decrease is great. And hopefully that number continues to go down over the next couple years, right? Because it's going to take a while for them to divest fully, I guess.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people want.
I think they're trying to move into PlayStation, to be honest. They've invested in some of Sony, I think, in some ways, and
good luck with that.
Mm-hmm. So, any other thoughts, Ed, on this?
Nope.
Great. Moving on. Sad story, Ed. Tequila Works has closed its doors. You may know them from games like Rhyme and the once Stadia exclusive game Guilt, which ended up coming to other platforms last year, I want to say. But it's just sad because Guilt kind of put them in a bad place, and they had another game before Guilt, which was what was the game called? I forget what the game was that they did before Guilt, but Yeah, the Sexy Brutale they did. Remember that game that was on PlayStation Network during the
Yeah,
early in the PlayStation 4, which was really good. Um, so yeah, it's sad. It's sad. In their statement, since its founding in 2009, Tequila Works game development's philosophy has always been focused on creating things with gusto. We are doing everything we can to provide support and guidance to our teams during this difficult time. Um, so I guess so. To be clear, they are filed for insolvency. They're not, confirmed to be closing their doors, but usually when somebody files for insolvency, they're going to be closing their
yeah,
doors. So, uh, Ed, I know you really liked Rhyme. I
yeah.
enjoyed a little bit of it. I know Jesse was like in love with this game. Thoughts?
When I found out this news, I knew they had like money problems that they let some people go. But I think they were kind of weren't putting out enough work, like games and stuff. And when they did put out the games, I think they didn't hit a lot of sale numbers. Um, so
Well, plus they had that whole snafu when they were trying to port the game to Switch. Remember, they hit all kinds of
mhm,
weird development issues.
yeah.
I don't remember if that was because of the Switch's hardware or because they just couldn't do it. Or
They probably couldn't do it because the thing about it is Rhyme was only designed for PlayStation 4. It wasn't designed to be on any other consoles, and maybe of course it'd be easier to do PC. Um, that's
was it
why
not
like
on
X
Was it not on Xbox?
it came for Xbox. Xbox and Play and Nintendo got their versions later. But they were only working on the PlayStation 4 version because they had the exclusive for it. And then later on, I think it was PlayStation and PC, and then it came out to Xbox, and then it came out to Switch last,
Okay.
and everything. And then that's when they started having those problems and stuff. So, um, I am kind of sad that this is happening. I only got the digital version of this game. So if anybody who has a physical, it's probably like a collector's item. Definitely if it's a Switch version. Um,
I actually looked it up because I'm trying to find that as well. It wasn't really that expensive. I mean, it's more than when it came out, but it was like $50, I think,
mm-hmm.
on third party because they obviously aren't publishing it anymore.
Pushing it, yeah.
So
But it was like I think when it came out, I think it was like $20 or $24, $25. I think when it came out
yeah,
digitally for
digitally,
PlayStation.
yeah.
So but it is sad to see them go because they really are. They really was a talented, talented developer. They did make some good games. The Sexy Brutale was a really fun game, that they made, and I think it's just with a company like that and them being indie and I think they was developing and publishing their own games, unless like the physical versions they teamed up with somebody to have them publish it, but a lot of that stuff they were publishing their own games and stuff.
Hmm.
So it's definitely sad to see them go. um and I think this it's gonna I just thought about it now and it just didn't hit me the way ago, but I like this is a company that Nintendo should have brought in the sense.
Well,
Um
I mean, Nintendo doesn't really buy anybody, right? I mean, they're
yeah,
not. I mean, they just came out in a statement recently and said they would rather grow organically than purchase, right?
purchase. Yeah. But I think if with them buying smaller companies like here and there, I kind of felt like um they would really benefit for having a studio like this
Hmm.
and everything, and just be able to make like smarter games like Good Job,
Yeah.
and things like that. Like it would kind of be cool to have like that indie space company because yeah, they work well with Mercury Steam or Mercury System. Um,
It's Mercury
I think
Steam. You're right the first time.
Mercury Steam. I think Tequila works with it did some great work with Nintendo to do smaller games for it and bring some kind of creativity. Definitely with a company like them, they know how to do different art styles and stuff. And that's something that Nintendo is also great at. So it would have been like cool to see them have like a small adventure game or, you know, probably take the Box Boy series or just do something. Maybe take all of their older series that haven't really jumped off and give it to them and see what they could do with it.
Yeah. Are there? I mean, I'm just thinking of stuff like Rhyme and Guilt. Like, what
Mhm.
franchise would they be? I mean, like, the first thing that came to my mind was Kid Icarus, but like, you would really have to change what Kid Icarus is to have them do it. But for some reason, just the art style of Rhyme made me think of Kid Icarus.
Yeah.
Um,
And like I said, Rhyme is a very deep and emotional game. Like it is it had that great effect when you actually think about it within discussions or you're talking to people who play the game. But like that's a game you have to experience and go through that journey. And you definitely would take something away. And that's kind of not Nintendo style, but it would have been cool for them to have something like them for this company. If not, um it probably would have been a good thing for Microsoft also. Um
yeah, this seems more of a team that Microsoft maybe would have tried to go after if their games were good
mhm.
enough, right? I mean, I don't know. The rumor right now is Microsoft's trying to buy the private division. That's kind of what's the rumor that's been floating around. I mean, we know the private division has been purchased, but we don't know who purchased it yet. And the rumor right now
Yeah.
is Microsoft because, smaller games that can be funded for Game Pass, I think something like that actually makes sense for Microsoft instead of Activision Blizzard, uh, which we can talk about at a later date. But um, yeah, I again, like, if their games just didn't sell, and the Sexy Brutale was like, people really liked that game, but it didn't sell anything, and Rhyme,
Mhm.
didn't blow the doors off of anybody, in terms of sales numbers, and Guilt kind of being the nail in the coffin, being a Stadia exclusive, right? I mean, you're not going
Yeah.
to sell anything being that, so um I
And
feel bad. I hope people find something, right?
yeah, because they that development team at Tequila Works is very talented. I
Mhm.
like I really rooted for them and still will root for them today if they were still, had some games and stuff coming out. But yeah, it's really sad for them to go. I will say that if y'all haven't played Rye, it really is a great game to play. Now you might you can play it on Xbox, PC, or PlayStation. The Switch version, I think it did get some updates, but I don't know if that's still a good place. I think you really need to play this in whatever has the better performance. And for me, I like because I played the PS4 version, it had better performance there. It may have better performance on Xbox or just if you have a PC, play it there too.
Yeah.
Because I think you just need something with a better performance to play that game. Because man, that when you get close to the end, you do not want any hiccups or any problems. You really want to see that game all the way through.
Yeah. Um, so hope everybody lands on their feet. It's a tough
Mm.
situation. I feel like we literally talk about this every other week about somebody closing. The Tales of Kinsera Zhao studio also filed for not insolvency, but they filed to, because what do they call it? Their employees were notified of redundancy. So everybody got laid off, but the studio still exists. So we'll see. I feel like we're gonna see things continue to go downhill before it gets better. But
Yeah.
that's this industry, man. I mean, it's tough. I see people. I mean, just like, again, not to like push us on Blue Sky or anything, but the amount of people that are just like trying to do something that have, we've connected with on Blue Sky is just, it's just like, there are so many people out there trying to do something, and it's,
Yeah.
and that's developers and media and personalities and creators and stuff. So I don't know. We're kind of lucky in that respect where we have the audience, but like, it's tough out there, man.
Yeah.
So support your devs, everybody. Support people.
Yeah.
All right. I guess we should probably move on, huh? This
Yes.
next story, if I can find my doc, because I have 37 windows open.
This is a wacky one.
Yeah. So Nintendo has Nintendo obviously goes after hackers and the emulation market and people like that, modders. But this one is really crazy. So no, stop giving me pop-ups. Nintendo cross-reference Reddit posts and hardware repairs to locate a Switch pirate. This comes from Eurogamer. Let's see. Nintendo reportedly hunted down an alleged Switch pirate by tracking the Reddit posts earlier this year after putting Switch pirate Gary Bowser behind bars and targeting emulate not Nintendo's president, the bad guy. There's actually,
Yeah.
we talked about it at some point earlier this year, I guess. And targeting emulating software Yuzu, Nintendo resumed to fight against the modded console business with new lawsuits, including one against James Arkbox Williams, who was the main moderator behind r/Switch Pirates. As reported by GameFile, it seems Williams was located after Nintendo commissioned a law firm to investigate free shops or online repositories for pirated Switch games. So, and then, this article kind of goes through what they did and basically like tracking this stuff, and Nintendo in their lawsuit called it software trafficking, and yeah, not good. Not good. How do you feel, Ed?
Nintendo. Shoot, this is a hotel dust room situation. I'm like, shoot, even the gas station makers become real life hunted down folks. I'm just like, wow. Once again, stop playing around with Nintendo stuff, people. We have told a whole bunch of. It's so funny reading these posts because people don't learn not to touch their IP. You don't have a right to do the things you think you could do with their IP and with their merchandise and stuff. That is a big corporation. They got money. Don't forget, they're the number one company that got cash in Japan. Don't mess with them. They got lawyers. Just leave all of their stuff alone. But people don't want to, so because he got caught, I think people want to get on it, still want to blame Nintendo and get on about this and make Nintendo the bad guy. But I'm just like, dude, any company would do that if they found out what the stuff was going on. This is for all companies. This is just not for Nintendo.
Yeah, it's not great. So, and I still think I honestly still think that's the main reason they're trying to put out a new console is security, right? I mean, the security on the Switch is very clearly, it's done, right? It's like PSP levels of open now.
Yes.
And the way to combat that is to put out a new console, and Nintendo is going to do that, and we're all very excited for that. So, but yeah, it's definitely something to look out for, right? Just Nintendo's gonna get you.
Yes.
So they're gonna get you. All right. Let's where did my dock go? Oh my gosh. I have so many windows open, dude. It's just oh, there it is. Okay. Ed, our last story, Switch 2 info could suggest a performance mode could be coming to the next console.
Ooh.
I'm not thrilled about this because it's the one thing I hate about the PlayStation and the Xbox. Is like I just want to turn the game on and play it. But with that said, this article is from Game Rant. Obviously, there's a lot of rumors about the Switch. I'm trying to find the recent performance rumors. Okay, so the Switch 2's recent performance rumors. According to Nash Weedle, a leaker on Twitter who has a strong track record, the Switch 2 will include an option to extend battery life in handheld mode, likely at the cost of visual fidelity or graphical performance. As with any leak or rumor, this ought to be taken with some salt, but such a move by Nintendo, however unprecedented, makes quite a bit of sense. Longer battery life is something that Nintendo desperately needs. The Switch's primary selling point is the hybrid console. Obviously, let's see. But this central design conceit is somewhat held back by a lackluster battery life, which the Switch 2 ought to improve. With graphically demanding games like Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, it's not uncommon for the Switch to only hold a 3 or 4 hour battery life before shutting down. A major downside to those playing a Switch without a TV. For this demographic, the modest drop in visual quality or some other feature could be worthwhile to price to pay for significantly long-lasting battery. Switch 2's performance mode would prioritize longer gaming, not FPS. So you have that, and then so it's not really the same thing, but also like to accommodate frame rates, obviously the visual fidelity drops even on the current consoles, right? So even the PS5 Pro has that issue. So I don't know, man. It's weird. I don't like this kind of stuff. Just I don't know, if you have to make the console a little bit thicker and put a like a different type of battery in there, just do it. I don't see the problem. But how do you feel? What do you think?
It's a rumor, so it's like they said, take it with a grain of salt. It doesn't do anything for me.
Salty,
really. If it happens, it happens. If not,
yeah, it's just I just want like that. I feel like that's defeating the whole purpose of the consoles, right? Is like the whole purpose of the console is to plug and play and not have to mess with any of these features. And like most people don't, right? It's been proven that most people don't. But at the same time, it's like, man, I really just I don't want to mess with these things.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anyways, that's all the news we got, Ed. There are some kind of some major updates coming to games, though. Just to, not that we're going to talk about them, but I just think they're notable. Overwatch Classic 6v6 mode returns to Overwatch 2, which I know the community is pretty excited about. Fortnite OG is returning permanently. That was a pretty popular mode last year, I think, or earlier this summer. I don't remember when it came out. But right now, the skins for that mode are Snoop Dogg and Eminem, so you can go check those out if you're a 40, 35 plus year old person who remembers that stuff. Although I guess Eminem's new album is pretty popular, so Uh,
It is. It's
by the
good.
way, Linkin Park's new album came out yesterday.
Yeah, I gotta listen to it.
I'm pretty excited. I like Linkin Park. Um, I actually like their new songs that they've been putting out. So, and then Sea of Stars, free Dawn of the Equinox update is out with the multiplayer stuff and the new co-op combat and extra features and stuff. So there is a
Yeah,
paid expansion coming out. What, next year? I think early next
I
year.
think so. Yeah.
So we will have that. Any other thoughts on any of this, Ed? I know you're a huge Overwatch player.
I still ain't played the game yet. I am definitely going to be checking out the Sea of Stars. I just got to download the game again and download the update. And give it a try. See what it's all about.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I beat the game, took it off, and yeah, enjoyed it.
Cool. All right, let's talk about this topic of the week real quick. Shouldn't be a long conversation, but I think it is kind of an important one because we just got Echoes of Wisdom and Link's Awakening was pretty popular, and the topic, the banter of the Boss Rush banter of the week is: does Eiji Aonuma's comments on The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom secure a future for 2D Zelda titles? This is the banter by Stephanie Klimov on bossrush.net. You can go look that up and see what she had to say about it. But it really sounds like 2D Zeldas. It just feels like they're going to stick around, right? I mean, I feel like this between the sales of Echoes of Wisdom and Link's Awakening, and even Cadence of Hyrule, right? I feel like 2D Zeldas are still, obviously they're not as popular as something like Tears of the Kingdom, but I think with the budget that they put into them versus the sales numbers, I still feel like it's a pretty decent investment, and Grezzo seems to have a really good handle on it.
Yeah.
So
I mean, outside of the performance issues, I think that kind of style people that's been missing is coming back. It's coming back in a good way, and it seems that that puzzle element to Zelda that people know about, like with the dungeons and stuff, like that is a huge thing for a lot of Zelda players, and doing it in 2D is it allows Nintendo and Aonuma them to be able to focus on the bigger ones and be able to create different worlds and gameplay ideas and stuff for Zelda, where the 2D ones would just be like, okay, it's a format right here, we could change some of the gameplay ideas, but we could also be creative with our dungeons and give players who may not like the open world stuff or what we create the options to be able to play our traditional way of Zelda.
Yeah.
So, like you said, with the sale numbers and everything, being a true track record, and plus they got some older games that they could always remake with the Zelda series. So, they could always be like, well, this is our idea of Hyrule at this time in this age, or time of era. So I think 2D is still going to stick around.
Yeah, and like you said, like they have a plethora of 2D games to remake, right? And like the Oracle games, I could see them definitely doing those at some point. I don't, maybe Minish Cap, and I could definitely see the DS and 3DS games getting remade because they're stuck, right? But yeah, it's I think 2D Zeldas are here to stay. I had this conversation on the Boss Rush podcast. I think maybe it was on the episode with Stephanie of this show, but I don't think I'm a 2D Zelda person.
Yeah, you said that. You said that on because you guys were talking about Echoes. Like you said that even with Andre. You guys were talking about it.
I couldn't remember what show it was on. like we do way too much. But yeah, I feel like I didn't grow up with 2D Zelda. Like
Mm-hmm.
my NES stuff was Ninja Turtles and Mario and uh random games that my parents would get me or my cousin didn't want to play because they were bad, right? So he would give them to
Mm-hmm.
me. And that was my NES experience. And I didn't really start finding the great games until Nintendo 64, right? That was my whole thing. And obviously I was a Genesis kid, so Super Nintendo just totally passed me by. I'm still going to try to give them a chance. I have a list of games that I want to play through, like a series that I want to play through next year,
Mm-hmm.
aside from just Nintendo stuff, but mostly Nintendo stuff that I haven't played through all the way. Um, 2D Zelda games are on that list, uh, for just to have that context.
Yeah.
Because the only 2D Zelda I've ever finished is the Link's Awakening remake, and that's the only one that I've
I
ever
mean,
finished.
for you personally, yes, because we recorded the playthrough
Uh,
of Link to the
yeah, I don't.
Past, but
I'm
that
gonna.
doesn't count because you were recording and
I didn't
watching.
play it.
Yeah.
Uh, and I don't remember anything from that thing. uh, so yeah, I just it's a thing that it's like one of those things that I really, really, really want to like, and I just can't pull it together long enough to
Hmm.
like it. And I feel bad because obviously those games are historically great, and
Hmm.
A Link to the Past is obviously one of the best games of all time. I don't know, man. I don't know what it is.
I think the 3D ones offer, it offers a bigger story, bigger environments. It's more creative within this world and with the dungeons and stuff. Where I think with the 2D ones, they're so linear and you don't really get that much space. And like there's a way more backtracking in the 2D Zeldas than there are in the 3D ones. So like you kind of just like kind of lose interest because you will see some creative parts and then it kind of slowly sometimes fall off depending on which game that you're playing and stuff.
Hmm.
Um, because like even with Zelda 1, like that as great as that game is and stuff, you might get to about the eighth dungeon and be like, I really don't want to finish this because this all feels too familiar and it's the same.
Yeah.
Where Link to the Past, the dungeons in those games were like in two different worlds, and so they were trying different things. And I think that's why it's so held up. That's why you still hear music from Link to the Past, and people discuss Link to the Past when it comes to the Zelda series, because on how well that game is executed.
Yeah. Yeah. And like man, Echoes of Wisdom, man. That game was it caught me so good at PAX, but then like I just felt
Mhm.
like I wasn't doing anything different, when I was playing it. And that was my big thing with that game was like I'm not doing anything new. Like I'm still doing the same thing that I was in hour 3 that I am in hour 15. And it just I feel like I said, I feel bad. I think the game is great. I think it's wonderful. I just can't get past that part of it.
So I think if they were the water tower in Echoes of Wisdom is probably like the best dungeon in that game because the way that it was done, and will remind people of Sea of Stars water level. If people played that, but that water level in Echoes of Wisdom, the dungeon is so well done and executed, raising like the levels and how you explore and get around, and it's not too difficult or anything. If they have more stuff like that, I think people would enjoy it more. Um, I think people are not used to where you don't do combat and everything. It's a heavy not heavy rain, but what was heavy not heavy blade the PlayStation 3 game by Ninja
Heavenly
Theory,
Sword.
Heavenly Sword, where people are used to hitting the block button, and the only way to block is not to touch the controller. It's just like to automatically do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people weren't used to that. So when you're not used to a game where where you are participating in the combat and you have someone else do it, I think people didn't enjoy that fact, because you were kind of using whatever makes sense for your echoes to defeat enemies.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing that for a good 8 to 10 hour game.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the main gameplay, that's the main attraction. People are not used to it. But like when you use Link's power and stuff, that feeling of using it just be like, okay, this feels like a Zelda game. I'm used to this. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
used to someone doing my own combat in a Zelda game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't think it's about, you know, the perspective of being 2D. I don't even think it's about the dungeons. I think it's just that they changed the gameplay and people are not used to it. They
Yeah,
thought
maybe.
it was going to be. They thought that the Zelda game was just going to be. If you think about it, I think people wanted a skin Link, but it's Zelda, so that she has some kind of melee weapon and she's attacking enemies and stuff. So they
Well,
were just
the,
like a character swap in a sense. Go ahead.
I really liked that aspect though, that of like I could just have enemies go fight for me while I went and did
Mm-hmm.
something else, right? Like I felt like that was awesome, but it was more the puzzle stuff. I was like, I feel like I'm still using the bed, or I feel like I'm using these water blocks, or I feel like I'm,
Mm-hmm.
you know, using these pots still to distract people, and there's no new ways to do things, you know. And some of the stuff like that, some of the echoes you only use when like in one dungeon, and then you're done with them, right? Like you're just done with them. And which, you know, technically I guess is exactly what Zelda is, but like I just feel like they've been training us for so long to do different things, and
Mm-hmm.
things could be used outside of the traditional dungeon sense, that like, you know, it was.
And I think, because this is what the thing when, you know, Andre was talking about it, and I said to myself, because I wasn't on that episode, you have to separate Zelda when it's an E for everybody kind of style game, because they're thinking of kids playing it, but it's going to be the adults who are going to have more of the criticism. That's going to be able to point out what they enjoy and what they don't enjoy. I don't think kids recognize all that stuff that goes into it, and everything. I don't think they're going to be thinking about the puzzles and stuff unless they ask you, because in a sense that with this game being a little bit more easier, as a Zelda game, I think the conversation would be different if kids, not kids, I should say, um, younger younger children, were playing this game compared to teenagers and adults who could understand puzzles and the game mechanics and stuff. Like if we had a 7 or 8 year old play Zelda and everything, I think they would have a hard time, even though it's easier. You know, if they got to do the puzzles and these dungeons and exploring on their own, they may get frustrated. They may and give up on the game. But you know, I think Nintendo and Grezzo tried to make it easier, so if they do play it, they don't have to really worry about it. For us, it's easier. So that's why they can't cut it off. Because in case of people, some kid, keep going back to kid, if some child is playing this game and they actually cut it off, they may not know how to get it back on, and everything. So now the game is no fun to them because they cut something off and don't know how to get it back cut on.
Yeah.
You know, and
Mm-hmm.
I just think that, as adults, you know, us as adult gamers who are buying this game, who know the series inside out and know the game mechanics and stuff, will easily see something about it in a not a negative light, but something that's more repetitive, because it because we're not thinking about this game also be designed for a younger age group who may want to get into the Zelda series or who are playing the Zelda series, or someone who's a casual gamer and new to it. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
so
2D Zeldas.
Yeah.
Just reiterate, I do think they're going to be sticking around, clearly.
Oh yeah.
Because Nintendo doesn't ever really abandon anything for too long, unless you're Earthbound fans or F-Zero fans, and rightly so. I'm just kidding. But it's we'll see. We'll see.
Yes.
Man, with how popular the Switch is, and with how long it's been for some series, I'm shocked we didn't get certain series on the Switch. Like, there are 3 in particular that I'm actually shocked we didn't get. Star Fox is one, at least the port, right? Kid Icarus is another one. And we never got a new Donkey Kong game, which I'm really shocked we didn't get a new Donkey Kong game.
And I'm not going to say those games are not in development or there's ideas for them. I think they're just waiting for, like they said, they wait for the right time. And if there's a good idea for those series, they will greenlight them and work on them and bring them out. And everything.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not like, clamoring for that stuff. I'm just kind of surprised that some of the stuff didn't end up making it out. Especially Star Fox, because that Star Fox, what was it called? What was that one called? It was
the one
Star Fox
Ubisoft?
Grand Prix. No, Star Fox. Oh yeah, I guess we did get that one from Ubisoft, the Starlink stuff. But that was its own game. It wasn't like a new Star Fox, really. But I guess you could probably count that because it had that whole campaign and it was pretty good. And it's the best Star Fox game we've gotten since, well, maybe ever, to put it bluntly.
Yeah.
Man, that was so good. That game was really good. If you haven't played Starlink Battle for Atlas and you haven't, it's probably on sale, the entire digital suite with all the ships and all the toys and stuff, like all digitally available. Like, go try it. That Star Fox campaign alone is worth the money.
Yes.
In my opinion. Speaking of worth the money, Ed, let's get into Pak Watch.
Yes.
I don't know if these games are going to be worth your money, but we're going to talk about them anyway because the heavy hitters are already out. Coming out on November 20th, we have On Your Tail. On Your Tail is a narrative life sim game that takes you to the seaside village of Borgo Marina. In On Your Tail, uncover the mysteries, unmask the thief menacing the town, go fishing, and more. It's quite the description. Spirit Mancer. Spirit Mancer is an action hack and slash with deck building. Slash, shoot, and break demons. Capture their spirits and summon them onto your battle. Summon them out into your battle. Wow. In the beautiful yet dangerous world of Inferno. Fight against hordes of demons and stop the evil queen with the power of the Spirit Mancer. So that's your Pak Watch this week, everybody.
Yes, it is.
A slow week, I guess. I mean, there's two huge RPGs and a massive Lego game to play. Go play those.
Yes.
But I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. I'm probably not gonna touch either of these.
Same. I got too much that I'm playing at the moment.
Yeah, I need to get on some stuff for Switch. I need to buy some games for Switch before.
I forgot to say this. And I know this is not Pak Watch everybody. This is kind of something I'm playing with Power because I put it out on my Twitter and I forgot to, and I think Blue Sky, and I forgot to say. So, last week, I I've seen some people talking about timing, how timing in gaming, like timing themselves and playing the game. So I put on a stopwatch to play Streets of Rage 2. And what I did was I'm like, how long would it take me to beat Streets of Rage 2? And it varies depending on who I play with and the difficulty and everything. But I finished the game in 55 minutes. And I went from the start where it says Sega to where I didn't touch the intro. I let the whole intro play. When the title came up, I pressed start. I didn't do no options. I kept it just as a normal way to play. And I picked Axel and started from round 1 and went to all the way to 8. Still did the secrets of finding the 1-ups and letting safely and everything. I didn't use no continues. Let the outro play, the credits roll until it got back to where it says Sega again, and that's when I stopped it. When I found out I did it in 55 minutes, I was surprised. I'm like, I've never time myself played a 80s or 90s 2D or retro game. It was kind of interesting, to say the
called
least.
Speed running.
So
that's cool.
Yeah, it was a cool kind of thing. I'm thinking about, man, I may do TMNT 4 Turtles in Time, the Super Nintendo version.
Oh man, you can have that cranked out in 30 minutes.
I'd be shocked.
Nope, 30 minutes. Just bang it out. You'll be fine.
So, yeah.
Just bang it out, Ed. You'll be fine. It'll Turtles in Time. It's easy.
Yeah. I know Super Metroid would take me 9 hours because
9 hours
in real time playing that game. I
take you like 3.
Well, I was playing it for a discussion, and I did it on one Thanksgiving, and it took me like 9 hours because I was trying to get the secrets and everything.
Noob. Scrub.
So, yeah.
Just kidding. All right, Ed, let's get into question block. We only have one question this week. You can look for our thread in Discord, which whoops, did not mean to do that. I almost left the window.
No.
That would have been bad. So in Discord, I created a whole Pow Block section, category in the Discord. So you can look for there's just a question, a category for questions. So just leave them there, or you can look for our threads on Twitter or Blue Sky, or you can leave, obviously you can email us or leave a comment on the most recent YouTube video. Those things, Patreon, just you can write in anywhere. I'm trying to figure out if there's a better way to centralize that communication.
Yeah.
Ideally Discord would be the ideal place, but not everybody cares about Discord. So, I'm just trying to leave options open. But get us your questions. Nintendo Pow Block at gmail.com is the email address. YouTube.com/Bosch Network is the YouTube channel. And you can follow at Pow Block Podcast on X or Blue Sky. Austin Campbell writes in, Ed, a simple one, an easy one, I think, a layup. What Nintendo franchise would you like to see Pixar make a movie for?
Oh, so Pixar doing a movie for Nintendo.
Yeah, I kind of feel like, man, I don't know. I would have said they were going to go all in with Universal and for that stuff, but I mean, there was Sony for the live action Zelda movie, so
I could actually see, well, I mean, because everybody's expecting the Kid Icarus to be there.
Is everybody expecting? I would bet to motion that a lot of current Nintendo fans may not even know what Kid Icarus is unless you're playing
Right.
Smash.
Right.
Smash.
Because Earthbound or Mother wouldn't be a good one.
No, because it wouldn't make any money. Just like it didn't make any money back in 1995 when the game came out.
You just being shady.
No. Leave us a nice rating and a review.
I know Events Wars wouldn't do it because that's war, and Disney wouldn't do that. I kind of Animal Crossing would be a good one, I think.
Yeah, I was thinking Animal Crossing or Pikmin.
What is
fun?
What is the rolling one? That was DS, the armadillo one, the rolling armadillo.
Oh, Dylan's Rolling Western.
Yes, I think that would be one that they would do.
That'd be interesting. Man, I forget that franchise exists. I wonder how many people even know that franchise exists. Well, I wonder what a big budget Dylan's Rolling Western would look like for Switch or for whatever the next console is.
I would be amazed. I think Box Boy would be a good one. Box Boy and Box Girl.
I feel like Box Boy would be the short at the beginning of the Pixar film. You know how they always have those shorts?
Yeah.
I feel like that's what that would be.
Well, that and the one guy with the plug.
The one guy with the plug. Chibi Robo?
Chibi Robo, yeah. Him.
Man. Yeah, I feel like Chibi Robo still falls into the short category.
Because like Pikmin would be one. Like I would expect Pikmin, even though Pikmin has its shorts and stuff.
Pikmin could be a full movie. They have they have that whole crew. Like Olimar is an established character. Those characters from Pikmin 4.
Yeah,
you could pick a handful of those.
Because Pikmin 4 would probably be the best one out of everything to make it as a movie. Because the way that they go underground into different places and everything. And still incorporate 1, 2, and 3 in you know.
Yeah. What else? I know this will be at Universal. I would love to see a Luigi's Mansion movie or something. I just wish Nintendo was not partnered with Universal, man. I feel like Nintendo could have done it. I feel like they could have done the theme park thing by themselves. And I know they don't want to invest the money. I know Universal is like they're going to invest in it, right? They're going to the ones that it's going to invest in this technology and stuff. But
I think because they work with Disney on video games, I think it would be too competing with Mario and Mickey. So I think that's why.
Well, no, they want full creative control. The reason why they talked to Disney, but it's the same reason why Harry Potter went to Universal is because Disney wants full creative control over everything, right? With input from the creators, right? Universal lets the creators have full creative control, and they kind of steer the conversations because they know the theme park business, right? That's why Harry Potter went to Universal, and that's why it looks so much like the movies, is because J.K. Rowling had full creative control on how this was all going to be laid out, right? And the storytelling and the what everything looks like, and down to a T, right? And that's Nintendo very clearly wants to do that too,
right?
And Universal just wants to make money, so
right. And I think Disney, with their IPs and how they could create their own, they don't need outside kind of attractions and everything. People come to them to come with ideas like Square Enix and Disney doing Kingdom Hearts. I probably feel like those two were in talks because Disney's not really into video games like that. But I'm like, you're working with one of the biggest role-playing publishers out there.
Mm-hmm.
So if they could create a story and use those worlds or in a video game format, how would it look and
Mm-hmm.
everything? That's why when I say Nintendo and Disney do work together, you know, Nintendo has produced some Disney theme park games for DS or for the handhelds and stuff.
Yeah.
Um and everything. Uh
Yeah.
so and then they got Sora and Smash, so you know that Nintendo and Disney and Square was talking for that and
Mm-hmm.
everything. Like to even make that happen.
Oh, I still can't
Uh
believe Sora's in Smash Brothers, man. We can't even get Kingdom Hearts on the Switch natively.
well, it's Smash is throughout the history, Smash is something that's so unbelievable. It's an unbelievable series. And not because of the fighting and seeing it on tournaments and how people use that game. It's about the characters because um once you see like the heck is Sonic the Hedgehog doing in here? Like, wait, what? Sephiroth was in here. Cloud is in here. Cloud never been on. You know, all of that stuff. Uh, well, all that stuff that's been on PlayStation, you know, is on a Nintendo game. They're in this universe, so it is one of those. Uh, there's a thing called verses where there's different singers. They're like, what would this singer versus this singer group or artist, like how would they be? They sing their hits and everything. And so when it came to Smash, it's like, okay, like who's going to be in this game outside of Nintendo? Would there be extra characters? And then extra characters start showing up. And then it really popped off when Smash Wii U. I mean, not. I'm saying Smash Wii U outside of Smash Melee. The Smash Wii U 3DS stuff started popped it off the series off because of all the other characters that they was getting, Bayonetta, Cloud, you know, and stuff like Ryu. Excuse me, um and things like that. Just like, how in the world are you guys getting all of these characters? And so when they're getting all the Japanese uh developers and publishers and their characters and games being in, like I said, Ryu and Ken, Simon Belmont, and Richard Belmont, and you know, seeing all of this stuff, and then seeing those shorts of introducing these characters into it, like Terry Bogard from Fatal Fury. Like, huh? Like, wow, the systems that had competing fighting games, or stuff that never came to Nintendo, is showing up all in Smash. So it's more of an unbelievable game because all of these characters are in this fighting game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. And just Smash Brothers, man. Where's the Smash
Yeah.
movie? I guess back to the question. Man, you would be funny is if they made like a whole movie about ice climbers.
That
Or maybe the
shoot,
polar bear in ice climbers.
how would brain age work?
That's not a movie. Nope.
I just said how
Calling foul
how
on
it-
that. It wouldn't work.
I mean,
Next.
Star Fox would be a good one.
Yeah. Get the Jim Henson Company on that one. The Muppets.
Oh, that'd be such a funny one.
That E3 was so good. Maybe we should do that over break. I know you're working a lot, but we should do like rewatch stuff.
We were supposed to do that.
I know,
like
but I'm
like-
telling you, we should do that now.
Oh, yes.
And just kind of release it over the course of the next few whatevers. Yeah.
I actually
calendar.
I actually had went back and watched the first Nintendo Direct that came out. I'm just like,
Oh, that would be
wow.
interesting.
like seeing Iwata and hearing them, and then just seeing it all, the evolution of the Nintendo Direct, and just how the Nintendo Direct not only changed E3 and people presenting their games again, the word out, but it kind of in a sense made everything feel like it was cost effective. Like it's still highly produced, but it didn't have all the showboating.
Well, it
That
was
so
what caused Nintendo to do the Nintendo Directs anyway? Was it the Skyward Sword incident? Was that what prompted them to do that? Where
it was
Yamamoto went
it
to play Skyward Sword and then it just kind of glitched out.
I think so. It was during the Wii era.
Yeah.
I think it's when they was playing like Wii music, and they were getting bad press about it. For
Well,
the E3 presentation.
Not just that, but the motion controls like rely on the sensor bar, and when there's other lights in the room, it doesn't read correctly.
Yeah. So, with that, with the negative opinions about that E3, when it came to that next year, because I think the Direct started when they did E3 that following year. I think that was the first like video presentation. And it was just something new, and Nintendo just kept doing it, and getting better at it. And then they were including Treehouse a while back. That after they showed that E3 presentation, Treehouse was going to be there for 5 or 6 hours showing off games. They had that set block and everything.
Yeah. Yep. Oh man, E3, what a time.
Yeah. And then I was watching our reaction videos to it.
Man,
I was like, what the heck they doing the new Metroid? It's like,
yeah.
why
we were recording our reactions, and we stopped because they were showing new games during the Treehouse stuff.
Right.
Oh man, we gotta go do that stuff. We gotta get that on the calendar. We gotta figure out how to do that, or like when to do that. Not how. I know how to do it, but we gotta figure out when to do that.
Yes. So
Nintendo, man, I have a lot of good energy for the first time in a while, man. I feel really good about things.
Yes.
Not that I haven't felt good about Boss Rush in general, but just I feel really good about things, and I feel really good about us and the content and people, and it's just I feel like we're in a really good spot.
Yes.
So yeah.
Well, Corey, let's call it a wrap on that one.
Why, you gotta be somewhere?
No, we're at the end of the show.
Are we?
Yes. Well, thanks for listening and or watching Nintendo Pow Block, which is part of the Boss Rush Network. If you enjoyed our discussions, please do subscribe on YouTube or your favorite podcast application. You can support us over on Patreon. That's patreon.com/Boss Rush Network. Before I get to the final part, everybody, do have a great Thanksgiving. If you're spending it with family, or you spend it with friends, or if you're just taking the time for yourself, get some good eats in, play some great games. Be prepared for Black Friday, whenever they decide to announce what games are going to be on sale. I know people are going to be doing their online shopping.
There's already stuff on sale. They're putting Joy-Cons on sale, and they're clearing house, man. They're getting ready for this new console.
Yeah.
And they're picking on the people who aren't paying attention.
Yeah. So you got Black Friday, after Thanksgiving, that whole weekend. So do be safe. Hang out with friends online, and family online if you want to and stuff. But yeah, that's gonna be it for Nintendo Pow Block. Thanks everybody for listening, and we'll see you next time. Bye everybody. Woohoo!
Bye. If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dierig, Francisco Santillan, Matthew Keel, and Todd Oxtra. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network.